Hi, this is my video reflection for helping out with the Totara Hospice. So this was my summer service. So yeah, basic introduction. It's August, obviously. So I decided that when I was here, I was going to help out at the Totara Hospice. So yeah, so basically, I got in contact with the volunteer service lady called Katie Patterson that works at South, and she to help activity with her. And so I'm going to tell you all about it day by day. I started on the 4th and I finished on the 8th. So Monday to Friday. And so starting from Monday, okay. So what happened? I so different activities. You hospice, which I'll explain later, and you have the hospice shops, you have the IPU, which is the inpatient unit, and you have the OPU, the outpatient unit. I have it all written down because I knew I would forget when I came back after the week to do this reflection. Okay, so starting with I went in and to Katie. Before I get into that, the reason why I chose to do this as part of my CAS is because my granddad was 3 years 2011, and he passed away there. So I decided to do something that had and to do while I had it, and obviously not paid for it. It's something that I wanted to do to help me experience future to do medicine. I haven't decided specifically what field, either in the pediatrics field or the geriatrics, so this gave me an insight into the geriatrics part of it, which was an amazing experience. So that's why I chose to do it at the Totara Hospice. Now, hospice is that patients go to when they can't for the patient. So it's kind of like a safe haven that's passing them on. It's where most of the last days. Lovely environment, and they've completely renovated it, so there are more inpatient units now. There's about 21 rooms. When I was there about 3 years ago, there was only like 3 rooms. So it's nice to see. Got my spirit working there for a week, which is great. Okay, so Monday I walked in and I met the person to have this great opportunity. Obviously, they don't accept anybody my age because like help them. Emails Abu Dhabi to Auckland. She said that I sounded lovely and would be happy to give me this opportunity. So I'm so ever grateful and to do this. So I keep diverting. Yeah, so I went in, I met Katie, and so she gave me all the departments. So you have the volunteer, you have like the family hospice staff, so families of the patient on to and how they're doing anything, homes, if they need any so many other different things. And then you have the nursing department, so those are like the 24-hour nurses that are always on duty. Then you have the doctors, and I actually my was coming down from Dunedin to help out, just like me. It was like a 7-week course for him, so he was there, and I just got to meet kind of everybody who works in the hospice there. So we grew up around in have a new section. They have the administrative offices, and I'll post up the pictures that I took of patients and people that experience there. Some things I couldn't take photos of, like the patients itself who came to the day hospice, because the photos that you take there are used for promotion and advertising, so I would have to go through a list of paperwork to get their approval, and I thought, it's gonna work out based on the time limit that I had there. So instead, I asked for permission, and I got a few kind of canned from the patients in the day hospice, which I guess could do enough for it. Okay, so like I said, every day I would do something, or rather that's different, creative service goals. So back to what I did on Monday. So after tea and walking around, I went and introduced myself into the day hospice, and I met Janine, who's in charge of for outpatient unit. So these are patients that they're strong-minded, but their bodies are kind of implanted in their throat. So it's like a I'm gonna say modem kind of device, and it's like situated in their throat. So when they talk, it's like a robot. You have brain and like linkage broken up, so they can't really coordinate with you, or then you have hearing problems, and all of it was great. So these are the outpatients that I kind of worked with. So my first group, basically my job at the day hospice was to talk about myself and talk about my life in Abu Dhabi and how everybody lives here. So the point of this was to give these patients an insight into my life, and to take them they don't have on and disorders, they can't travel the world. So by speaking, giving them my sort of life, day-to-day life kind of routine, kind of showed them how I did a presentation there for around 45 minutes to an hour, everything, but the majority of in the Middle East, to the malls, to the people there, the diversity of my school, my friends, my IB life, school system there. Day to day over here in Auckland, it's NCA, which is the New Zealand curriculum, and it's a lot less rigorous than the IB diploma. I mean, here their school starts at 9. They don't have as much music people and sports kind of people. Through expressing my life in Abu Dhabi, I was able to get a sense of how those patients grew up, how their grandchildren are growing up, and my life is like, yeah. before talking about myself in Abu Dhabi, we had a musical jam session. So after having the tea and walking around and seeing the place develop, I went into the day. Brings along Michael, who's doing the voluntary 7-week course, and they all attached. I think it's a activity that they've brought into the hospice. It basically gives these patients something different to do, realize at home. In all sense, the ukulele, the double bass, you have the maracas, you've got you have the armadillo kind of instrument, if that's what you call it. Different kind of the moods of people. We did kumbaya, island. It was lovely. And on the first day, so Monday, I was on the double bass. Yeah. Which is awesome. Double bass. I did the double bass, but I did it. And in fact, it's not really. It's with the same sound as a double bass, which was awesome because I've never really heard a double bass like that, nor have I heard one. So to learn something, skills in double bass. Yes, good on me. I met a lot of people, like I said, Michael. I met David and Shirley, patients, and they're Kiwis as well. And oh my gosh, silly people. Possibility. I don't know what. I mean, that's confidential information, which is to a volunteer. And they were really happy that I came and talked to them, which was awesome. So yeah, going back to my presentation, I talked about the Emiratis. There was awesome. I did a which is good leadership role right here. In fact, while I was talking to the outpatient unit, she was so eloquent, and she called like all the staff. I was just like and I got patients that usually don't really interact with the activities going on to listen. So it was really collaborating with them, and I was sharing my experience, and it was really lovely to take them away from their pains and aches into a new life for about an hour. So that was awesome. Myself. Presentation, round of applause, and Katie came back to pick me up, and we went to go to the hospice. So, I was volunteering. It is the South Auckland Hospice, and it is like the medical center of where these patients stay. Now, what I mean by going to hospice shops is it's around the city. I'm gonna list places like Papakura, Takanini, Manarewa, and Manukau, places in Auckland, and all those places have a hospice shop. Now, what a hospice shop, obviously, when guys, not even a death, but like if you want to donate anything, you can give it to the hospice shops and they'll sell it to make profit and use the healthcare system and profitable strategy, I'd say. So clothes, furniture, cutlery, cups, like that. You can just give it to the hospice and they'll put it in one of their shops and they'll make you towards tea that which is like morning tea here is like the food, like snacks and to outpatient. So I got to go into the Totara Hospice CAS, and I have a photo of that which I'll upload onto the photo file thing on Manage Back. To go in like my first time doing that, and we went around to the different hospice shops. Basically introduced myself, and we met the volunteers who help out and work at the till and so on and so forth, and just ask them how they're doing, if they need anything, if things are going on. Just up on and make sure the store is fine. And that usually lasts for about 20 minutes because they tell you their life story. So once so on Monday we only got through to 2 hospice shops because my volunteering was 10 in the morning. After having the tea, walking around, having the musical session at the day hospice as well as the presentation, we went back home. No, sorry. My parents got me from there, and then I went back home. So that was day 1. Success at 17 minutes explaining day 1. Okay. That's right. Tuesday, I walked in. I have it all written down here, so I'm sorry if I'm taking a second because it's Sunday right now, and I'm talking about Tuesday, so I need to vocabulary because there's so much. So I'm really sorry about that, Miss Morrell. Okay, Tuesday. Yeah, so on Tuesday I went back into the day hospice. And then what did I do? I had my musical again. Yeah. So this day I did the ukulele. I learned how to play the guitar in grade 10 at ASA, and I thought playing the ukulele was going to be just as similar, but it's hard to catch on to at first, but I think they did a pretty good job learning fast. So skill like 5. Right after the session, I met a Russian healer there. Her name was Lorraine, and I'll tell you about it in a moment. Right after I second group, so I did the same thing. Janine kind of guided me through some questions about your food, house, houses, what can you do there, and how I get to school and all that. So, and I talked about the law and the shakes and a bit into my life again. Something a bit different. Obviously, having a outpatient, I had to repeat modernization, architecture, so on and so forth. So I did that for about an hour again. I do not have any of me talking. It was really no one would videotape it for me, and I couldn't videotape myself. So I'm sorry, I don't have a video of that. I do have On that day, I met Radar, Bev, Shirley, and Leanne. Radar, like I said, had except. Oh my god. Okay, 1 second. Oh, I wrote too many things down. It's so hard to talk about it all. Okay, so Bev, she was the volunteer that I met there at morning tea. In fact, she knew my granddad who was there 3 years ago. Awesome. What happened? And I was like, why would a 16 here? I mean, like, you're on holiday. Why are you doing this? And I told her why. I was like, because my granddad was here. And she's like, oh, what was his name? I was like, Rajaratnam. And she's like, oh, I don't think I know him. And I was like, oh, they called him Raj. I know him. I was here. And she was one of the volunteering nurses that was around. So she knew my granddad, and now she knows his granddad. And at one point during the tour, just going around to the different rooms, and as I passed my granddad's door, got and he passed away, and was quite heartbreaking because the last time I was there was 3 years ago, and I stepped out. So it was interesting to see or meet a person that knew my granddad and was still around. So healer about 12 years ago. I'll tell you about her in a second. Radar, he was an outpatient. With him physically, and I did have a chat to him when we were having lunch. He was a pilot, and he told me he was a pilot, but it was awesome talking to him. And Shirley was another outpatient. That was who I got. Do voice activated patients, so they have the machine in their like communicate with the people around them. So that was really interesting to see because I've never seen that before. And right after I talked about myself, before having lunch, I talked with Leanne, healer. She comes. She performs what is known to be as it's called. It happens at different volunteers and help massages and stuff like that. And now on Tuesday we had this Reiki lady. She wasn't too young, but it's a Japanese form of healing that is mainly based on the I've never about it and hearing about it, and she asked me if I wanted to try, and I was like, yeah, why not? And I mean, she did it for me. So right before lunch, we went into her room and she performed Reiki. It's cleansing chakras. Now I don't know too much about it, but you have 8 chakras, and by this method, you take energy, and she clean your energy to kind of brighten your spirits a bit more, I guess. It's to improve your well-being. I had to that. It was amazing. Feel moving my body, like I could feel it moving out through my legs, my palms, and you can force like feel it, and her boss knew it. So that was really right after lunch, where I talked to Radar, one of the outpatient units, about his life as a growing man. He's still adorable to some extent, but he's doing well. He's adorable, really, really cute. After lunch, Leanne came in, who is a worker there, and she performs the mindfulness activity. Yeah, mindfulness activity. Basic activity is, the objective of it is to allow patients to concentrate on one thing. You focus your eyes, breathe in and breathe out, and focus on your breath movement. So everybody would go silent and you'll be breathing in and you how much oxygen, how much carbon dioxide. Think about your toes. Now move up towards your ankle, move up towards your knees, and it would calm you. It would really, really calm you because you're focused on dealing with the past, dealing with the future, dealing with focusing on focusing. So that was interesting, and it just, she would ask patients how they felt after they did this, and someone would be like, oh, I fell asleep, or someone would be like, I feel really relaxed. I could feel the energy of my legs, and I was like, maybe it's just because I had no on, but on it. So now if I just close my eyes and I think about, okay, my legs, I could feel that I can time to forget everything else and just focus on one thing. So it's a concentration kind of activity, but it reduces, relieves you, and it's wonderful. So done. On this, I had a health. So day 2 is done. Yay. Okay. Day 3, Wednesday. Oh, this was an interesting day. So on Wednesday, we had David Burton. Now, he's actually a New Zealand judge who takes part into this tea and coffee tasting. So he was a pretty big guy around here, who I never really heard of, but I got to meet, which was awesome. So I met Wednesday with my presentation. I'll get back to that in a second. We started off with tea and chocolate. So I tried sipping chocolate and licorice tea. Basically, he talked about his life story, but he went on and on about it that I just forgot everything that he told me. This thing I cannot forget. I tried sipping chocolate. It was awesome because I love chocolate, and he gave me like a taster, and it was beautiful. It was really chocolatey, so like really rich in chocolate, flavorsome chocolate. I just wanted to try. It was awesome. Right after that, I tried licorice tea. Oh my god, I did not like that at all. He was like, if you were to make a tea, you swallow it. So this licorice tea, I could taste it all the way in my mouth, but it was taking, so it was lovely to experience. And I'm glad I tried something. I mean, if you didn't try it, how would you it? You should try something. Before this happened, got my life in 80 again for the third time. I swear I was just like repeating much of the same thing quite every day, but I tried to change it up a bit. I'm something different. Local to some extent, how I have a royalty in my class and so on, to gap in time before he came in. So I did my presentation 3 times. So yeah, so then after that coffee session, and I played the double bass because I enjoyed it. Early Wednesdays, play on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. So on Wednesday I played the double bass and we did the same songs, and it was awesome. Yeah. Then we had lunch, so I talked to some of the outpatients. Really, and she's diagnosed with cancer, and she's living her last few days, I reckon. So, but she's so young, and she's I'm stuck, and she was awesome to talk to. So, yeah, it was lovely to meet her, and I met Flo, who's guitar. It's just, they were all taken aback by how I could talk like I do at the age of 16, how much just lady. It was lovely because every day I met someone that would compliment me or tell me something that they loved what I was doing this, and it just made being there so much better. I mean, you could tell that people actually appreciate the work, and they're such darlings. I mean, everybody you speak to is so sweet, so lovely, and it's such a beautiful. So I absolutely loved my time being there because everybody was just awesome. So now, yeah, so after lunch we had a mindfulness activity on time. It was very much like the last, and so since I told you about it, we can skip that. So right after the mindfulness activity, I went back home for art group. Miss Moral, I know you're gonna want to listen and you're at drawing because what I'm about to show you is awesome. Yeah, I class. I don't really enjoy drawing, or can't draw, but I can't paint. I totally. I have them here. Yeah. Okay. So before I show it to you, in this art group, it happens every Thursday, and patients like Lauren and another one, Ruby, who came the day before with the coffee tasting, they were there. And you just do anything you to in the hospice exhibition. So I joined in for that, and by golly, it was one of the best art classes I've taken in my life because I chose. For my school, we were always taught how to do something, and then we would have an activity that included the skill we learned. but it was never like, just do it. Supposed to do what to do. So I was like, new animal. And so, oh my gosh, I forgot her name. Elizabeth. So Elizabeth came in and she was like, I have so many animals. I was like, oh, I can try. I just want to try something. And she was like, you know what? I'm sure you don't suck. How about you just try and do it? So I decided to do a cat. And I'm not a fan of cats, but I I wanted to try something different, use different techniques in my drawing, and I did that. I incorporated it right now, and it's very so. My beautiful drawing is over here. Let me take it out. So, an hour worth of efforts, I drew my marvelous masterpiece. Ta-da! Felix the Winter Kitty. Now I don't know if I have the original photo with me on here. It might be on my phone because I took a photo of it at the time. But I actually wanted to, I saw something in the magazine which had a painter painting something and it was just a bit of watercolor and I was like, okay, I think I could do this. But then since I chose to do animals, I decided to do this. And this is freehand. I did not trace, so I'm proud of myself. Color pencils, and I used what do you call it? It's like the different sketch pencils. Honestly, I think this is one of the best I've done in my life. So here's the creativity part of my CAS. I really suck, but I gotta give it to myself on this one. I was really determined to do something really nice for the hospice, and I think with a good intention and not being forced to do something I didn't like, I did something awesome. And they took a photocopy of this and they're gonna put it in their art exhibition, and yay, I'm really happy about that. So I took a photo of my photo at the time, and I think in the background you can see the original photo of the cat. If I show it to you, can you see that? It's like, oh my gosh, I don't think you can. Yes, you can. So this was the original cat photo that I had in front of me, and if I just zoom out of that, I had one side to side. So I had the cat photo plus mine. Due to the pixel quality of this, it's blurring out a bit, but I'll put it under my CAS evidence photos for you to see later. So I did that during my art group with the lovely outpatients again. So on Thursday I was in the hospice, but I was a part of the art group, and this is what I did in the art group, as well as this one, which I didn't get to finish, but I reckon my art skills have improved. So that's it. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, so this was actually supposed to be a shell on the beach, but it looked like an octopus's head, so I was like, okay, I think I can change it and make it an octopus. So I decided to do an octopus. And it says, I wrote over here, and it says, you can't have a rainbow without a little rain. So some positive reinforcement into this lovely ambience that I was in, just to cheer up some spirits. Of course, I didn't get to finish it, but I did finish this one, so I'm really happy about my beautiful artwork here. Oh, and then after the art group was done, all the outpatients left, and I had my afternoon in the so in this, it's called the IPU, and the inpatient unit is basically helping out within the actual hospice. So people are actually there doing their last I mean, my IPU for people could be there for like 2 days to a week, and then yeah, it's kind of a bummer, eh? You meet them, you work with them, and you help them, and then they leave this world. I guess it's a cycle of life. I'm sure they relate. Oh, it was Noel, and he was such a darling, and I used to make his coffees for him, and it was just amazing. So in that inpatient unit, I volunteered. Was also, or who also went by the name of Kate. She was a retired, and she gave me the basics into bedside manners and medical treatment and dosage, types of things. Yes, I learned so much from her. Oh my god, so much. Like, like, I don't know how to do I don't know how to strip a medical bed. And she was like, all right, let's go do that. She a medical bed, and she taught me a lot of things, like what they use to clean the medical mattress without on top. So let me make a note of the sanitizing. Okay, along with that, she doing is the both side always has to face, and this is because it's better looking and it's more for the appearance side of things. But I mean, I didn't know that. Of course, you have to keep the hand sanitizer and sanitizing them and all that. So we stripped the bed, we did laundry, we went and served coffee as well. Sorry, as I'm thinking more things of my experience there pops up. Yeah. So no, had guys. Can I have some biscuits or like something tasty with it? So I was his. So I did that with Katie, and I had a volunteer badge, which I have all my photos evidence. And open me prepared lunch. I served lunch. I did the dishes. I sanitized the dishes. There's a machine there. And it comes out, and when you put it into place. And the chef is such a darling. Sandy is her name, and the assistant is also such a gorgeous as well. IPU that day. So that was IPU. Okay, and then on Friday, my last day at the hospice, I did not go to the day. I didn't do the day hospice. I went back to IPU, and this time I was with Robert and Jendi. Robert, I love them. The reason I was allowed to do IPU would be in contact with one room because like it's not safe for me. Yeah, but the reason I was allowed to at least shift to have a I want to have a future in the medical sector, so I thought that this would give me a really cool insight into it. You morning shift with Robert and Jendi, and I gotta say the morning shift was so much, and afternoon shift, which I did with Katie on Thursday. So with Robert and Jendi, we also had different volunteers come in. So we have flower volunteers. They do stuff like that. To go around, we actually cleaned rooms, so we took out the garbage and then we put in a garbage tea. Okay. We served morning breakfast to the florist, which was really sweet because she was like, "Out of the 28 years living here, this year, as part of awesome." So I did the IPU that morning shift. We went around to the rooms, the people, because there was went around that day. I helped cook lunch. I did the sanitizing again in the kitchen that day, which is awesome. Not a bake, actually, also a mince pie. So cooking skills. Yeah. Then shift ended with Robert and Jandy. I spent my last few hours back in Katie's office helping with administration. Thing. Okay, there. What had happened is they were organizing the lunch on this upcoming weekend, and they were sponsoring some of the volunteers to go, like 120 meals. They were sponsoring it. They gave it to them free. So what happened was I had to actually Katie and Sally, the two volunteering staff there, they had people that the and it was called all together. Friday afternoon, I was posting it to them. So what I had to do was I had to write a compliments card and like, "Thank you for confirming your attendance at the winemaker's lunch. Here's a flyer. This enjoy yourself." 7 people, as well as put the flyer in, and I put it into a postcard, up their email and addresses. Posted it for like half an hour. Then Katie was like, "Cheetah, I'm gonna what is it? I'm gonna call people now." I was like, "I've never done this in my life before." Actually, never been talking to someone in this industry on the phone, but she was like, "Okay, you have to just about their." And so I called the 7 people. I talked to a Russian dermatologist. I talked to in Auckland University, and I will actually her mother. Yeah, but I had to do that, so I had to call up, introduce myself, remind. I always call it as well. It didn't work. I gotta say, risk control service. I'm really good for that, just trying new things. So that was lovely. And then after calling for me, I have here. I can read it out loud. From the Totara Hospice, I can read it out loud. Maybe at the end of this CAS video, I'll read it out loud. And then after that, she was like, "Well, you're done for the day. You've kind of done everything possible here." And it was actually about half an hour to my finishing time. So I was like, "Oh no, Katie, like anything else I'll be able to do." She's like, "Oh no, you've done enough. So here are some biographies. You can read them and just the kind of like another activity that some volunteers do." So volunteer biography read about. She has 2 children. She's diagnosed with, oh my god, she's diagnosed with a type of cancer, and it's kind of named something like that, and stuff like that. She has no chance of living, so out of time. She passes on. It was a heartbreak. Two sons, and it ended my Friday, quite overwhelmingly. But I mean, she wrote it so well to the point where you could feel her. At the end of it, like, I tell my sons, I'm not going to be here for long, but this is what I need you to do. I need you to like be there. And I think wanting to be a doctor, and in the future, I think that really opened up my perspective. I mean, be a doctor to. I mean, what she's going through is insane, and just talking about it gives me goosebumps. But you know, God bless. I mean, we all have to be grateful, and I think this opportunity has been for what I have. Wow. So so I said my goodbyes to Katie, and I told her I might come back this Wednesday to do an IP shift. Part of the holiday thing. So I might go back, and if everything goes well, I might other. And that was a lecture at the Hospice. I had a marvelous time. I learned so much from to organize fundraisers, how to set up a medical bed, how to clean, even medical, all professional environment. Learned that I can't say it all right now because everything's up in here. So I gotta say, what an opportunity! Thank you, Katie. If not, thank you. Thank you so much for accepting me to be able to help the Totara Hospice community. I love doing something, help people and be there for them, and you know, it's touched me in so many ways. So thank you so much for it. Moral of I had a lovely time. I collaborated with everybody. I think I did more than the cast of from development, from leadership. Well, I was talking professionalism and so on. So wow, it was an amazing experience. So thank you everybody who's made and I'm grateful for that. Yeah. So that was my year. I met so yeah, and I could read out my reference, or I could post it up on Manager. I guess I will. Yeah, in case I lose a copy. But yeah, I'll read it. Okay, so this was something both Katie and time being there, and I do them well by reading out this reference, and it was lovely. Okay, so here goes. She decided the South Services team on volunteer placement for the week of 4th to 8th August. I do not usually take on students for a full week placement. She sounded so in this instance. She has been even more of a delight in person, a real breath of fresh air, and incredibly mature and of the organization. She spent Monday through Wednesday in our day hospice. Day hospice is an opportunity for community patients to visit the hospice and enjoy about her life in Abu Dhabi. She was very engaging and eloquent, and was able to put patients at ease. Even those who are generally not engaged the hospice shops on Monday and connected with our volunteers in the shops. On Thursday, she helped out in the art group and in our inpatient unit. And on Friday, she helped in the inpatient unit again and also assisted with administrative tasks. Approach to professionalism. Her smile and positive energy have been very much appreciated, and I'm very grateful that I had the wonderful opportunity to work side by side with such a kind-spirited, bright, and engaging. Welcome her back. Kind regards, Katie. So, some experience. Now, I didn't only do this for CAS. I did this because I wanted to. I got contact with Katie. Opportunity, and I'm so glad I did it. That's good. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed my little experience as much as I did. Bye.